My wife got pregnant while I was away for work.
Could it be yours in any way?
My wife, 22 female, and I, 24 male, have been married for 2 years, together for 4. I work on a river barge, so I spend about a month away from home at a time for work, followed by 2 weeks off. I've been doing this for the last year since I got laid off from my other job. By the way, this comes from Literally Sounds Legit. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKstorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Carly.
And I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, I just got back from a job and found out that my wife has been having an affair with an old boyfriend that recently came back to town. Ouch. I asked her how many times, and I wish I didn't. She said she wasn't sure. You never want to hear that.
Yep. Nope, that's bad.
And that it had been a continual thing. They started talking on Facebook a few months ago, but it had only been innocent catching up until this last time I left. This time they agreed to meet up and had basically been sleeping together all month while I was away. She said that she had planned to end it when I got back and knew she had to come clean. She let me look at her Facebook messages, inbox, and text messages for proof, and the messages were consistent with her story and timeline. My initial reaction was that the marriage was over. I felt betrayed, hurt, and didn't think I'd ever be able to trust her again. I work my butt off so that she doesn't have to work while she's in school. I felt like being faithful was the least she could do for me. She knew what marriage meant to me long before we took our vows. Both of us are Catholics. We aren't perfect Catholics by a long shot, but we're deeply religious. I stressed to her that for me, marriage is a forever commitment, in sickness and in health, and till passing do us part. Means something to me. I told her that I knew I wanted to be with her for the rest of my life, but only if she could promise me that she wanted the same thing. I stayed at a friend's place for a few days and thought it over. First, I talked to our priest. He reminded me what I signed up for and believed in. I don't like that. She cheated on him.
Yeah. What was his advice for that? He's like, just don't think about it.
Just don't think about it. You signed up for in sickness and in health. You didn't sign up to be cheated on.
In cheating and in
literally
faithful.
One of the commandments. Adultery. No. Big bad.
It's a big no.
Marriage is a forever commitment, and that means being able to forgive and work past problems. She has been cheating for so long
that she doesn't remember how many times.
This is terrible advice. Get a new priest.
Get a new wife.
Get a new wife and a new priest.
He recommended that for now I find work close to home so I can be with my wife and keep an eye on her. What kind of advice is this? And that we seek marriage counseling either through the church or with a therapist.
Did she cheat with the priest?
Yeah, he's like, I think you should just stay with her. I also talked to some of the older guys I work with, and it gave me some perspective. A lot of them have gone through the same thing. Some of their marriages survived, and a lot of them didn't. But all of them agree that spending long periods away from home at times can be rough on any marriage, but especially tough for young marriages. I understand that feeling constantly lonely and being by yourself in an empty house is hard. We talked, and she assured me that she loved me. She promised me that the affair meant nothing to her, that she just felt alone, and that she would cut off all contact with the guy. She understood that she would have to work to earn my trust back. Agreed to give me access to her Facebook and to check her phone randomly until I can trust her again. She also agreed to go to marriage counseling. On my end, I have agreed to find a local job so that I can be with her and focus on our marriage. We aren't having spicy sleep right now and haven't since she came clean to me. I wanted to take it slow, getting intimate again, and she respected that. We've been kissing, cuddling, and sleeping in the same bed. More recently, she has been insisting on giving me other spicy stuff, which I'm okay with. She says she just wants to know that I still want her and that she wants to please me. I do want her, and I appreciate her efforts.
Okay.
Oh, boy. Still no spicy sleep, though. It's not her. It's me. It's not you. She cheated on you.
Right. It's you because of what she did.
She cheated on you.
It makes total sense.
I still find her attractive, but I think it's going to take at least a little while before I feel like having spicy sleep with her again. I guess I still feel grossed out by the prospect of it, like she's unclean or something. She understands how I feel and is okay with it. She offered to let me cheat on her to get even. Why is that always the cheaters
thing? Why is that what we go to?
Yeah, they're like, oh, you can cheat on me.
Don't
It's
worry
like,
about it.
I didn't want you to cheat on me.
Right.
I don't want to cheat on you.
Free. That's 2 wrongs is not making a right here.
Or get some physical release, but I declined. I don't want to screw somebody else. I want to be with my wife, and I just want things to go back to normal. 2 weeks later, we find out she's pregnant. I don't know if y'all can get through this. Gotta be honest.
What's your priest gotta say now?
Yeah, the priest is like, well,
you got a kid.
So if you have a baby together, you
if
should
Joseph
get married.
can do it, you can do it.
He's like trying to do the math. She's like,
wait a second.
You're both the father? You both marry? I don't. Oh, that's another religion. Dang it.
Yeah.
Obviously, the other guy is the father. I'm the only person she's told so far. Being religious, not continuing the pregnancy was off the table for us from the start. I told her that I want her to put the baby up for adoption. I'm willing to forgive her and repair our marriage, and I can look past an awful lot. What I know that I cannot do is go through every day looking at a reminder of her infidelity and having this other guy intertwined in our lives in some capacity. I can't do it. I know that probably makes me a poor Christian. Give yourself a break, my guy. But I've got to believe that God understands that I'm not perfect and forgives me. Yeah. She wants to keep the baby. She says that the other guy never has to know about it. Yikes.
Your wife
You've got to
really,
tell that guy, come on. And that she understands that our marriage cannot survive with him in our lives. But her opinion is that it isn't the baby's fault. The baby didn't ask to be born out of an adulterous relationship, and that we would be unnecessarily causing the baby to suffer by putting it up for adoption. She also said that the baby is a part of her and that she would like me to be able to love and accept the child as a part of her instead of the other man. I understand where she is coming from, and I get that it would have to be terrible to carry a baby and have it grow inside of you for 9 months knowing that you've got to give it away as soon as it's born. But I can't do it. I really don't know what else to say. She has agreed to go talk to our priest about it with me, but regardless of what he says, I can't see either of us budging on it. My marriage might be over, and all I feel like doing is drinking until I pass out. I barely think about it, but we haven't even talked to our families about the infidelity yet, let alone the pregnancy. The whole thing is embarrassing, and I don't want the attention. I don't want people telling me that we're in their prayers, but judging our marriage and guessing how each of us failed. I just want it all to go away. Thank you for reading this. If anyone else has gone through something like this and has had their marriage survive, I'd love to hear from you. I could use some optimism about now. And there is an edit, but what do you think?
Your wife sucks.
Yeah. I think, honestly, I understand that you want to keep this, marriage together because of your faith.
For sure.
However, I do just want to point out some things. You clearly cannot get over this right now, at least.
Yeah.
It seems like this is really, rightly so, affecting you. You can't even, have any physical stuff going on with your wife because of what she did. She wants to keep the baby, which I think personally she has a right to. Of course.
Yeah.
She's carrying this baby. It's her kid. She has a right to want to keep it. You don't. And I feel like those are at odds. And if you don't and she does, then maybe
I don't think you need to be raising this baby with her anymore.
I agree.
Yeah.
You have no obligation to this baby.
The other dude does.
The other dude does, and so does she.
And the other dude deserves to know that it's his baby.
Big time. Yeah. So I feel like at this point, maybe marriage is not strong enough to survive this. But there is an edit. Thank you to everyone for your replies. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can meet with an attorney tomorrow and find out what I need to do to ensure that I won't be financially responsible for the child. I expect that she will probably be angry and see this as some sort of power move to force her into adoption. It's clear to me that I could not be happy raising another man's child. It's just too much to ask. I plan to talk to her and tell her that while I forgive her for the adultery itself, the marriage is doomed. We're at an impasse where one of us has to lose in order for the other one to win. There is no half baby. It's all in or all out, which I think is true.
Yeah.
Moreover, it isn't fair to deny the father's child the chance to know he's a father, or the child the chance to know who his father is. I don't personally fault him for what happened. I don't know him. He doesn't know me. I question his morals in sleeping with a married woman, but it isn't as if he had any duty or pledged loyalty to me. It's my wife I should be angry with, if anything. I can't even manage that. I just want to get this over with and move forward. Thanks again, everyone. I guess I'm looking for advice. And there is an update. Truthfully,
Yeah.
OP is taking this really well.
He's taking it really well.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not going to be married to this guy. I don't know him.
Yeah, and he seems like he's on the right track
Yeah.
and kind of said everything you said.
Mm-hmm. I think you're doing great, dude. And it's a really terrible situation, but I think that don't listen to your priest's advice about staying in this marriage with
Priest
a
had a
person who
crazy
is,
take.
yeah, like you guys made a promise and she broke that promise. Therefore, you are no longer held to that promise. Update. I've spoken to a good friend and attorney about it this morning, and he has offered to represent me and work with me on cost. I'm deciding to move forward with initiating divorce. As I've said, I have forgiven her for what she did, but I've also realized that forgiveness doesn't mean that it would be healthy for either of us to remain in the marriage. I can't raise this child. I don't blame the child, but I know that I would resent it every day. And I would resent you guys if you don't listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up Storytime, and then we'll be copacetic.
Got it.
But there is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
I have no more thoughts. I think he's right on track.
Yeah.
Get a new priest.
Agreed.
Obi seems like a genuinely good guy. And
Yeah.
I think he was, even at the beginning of it, you could tell he was just like, he was taking a lot of the brunt of like, no, I can't, but like,
He took
why would-
all the blame for something he didn't do.
he didn't do
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Literally.
He was just a good husband.
Yeah, he was like, I'm sorry, I can't love you. Like, as if it was his fault, as if he did that.
Yeah.
But OP, not your fault.
Not at all.
But there is a little bit left. Even if my wife agreed to adoption, I know that she would resent me for pressuring her to do it. The fact is, she has made her choice emotionally. We both know what she wants the outcome to be, and the best thing I can do for both of us in the long term is to stick to my pew-pews. If I'm able to get an annulment through the church, fantastic. If not, so be it. I've got a hard time believing that God will not forgive me for this. Yeah, I think you're all right.
You're good.
For now, my attorney has advised me not to tell my wife and instead collect all evidence I have of the affair first. I'd like to believe that my wife wouldn't try to destroy the evidence, but given what has happened and what is at stake, I'm not going to take the chance. I'll speak to her sometime this week and will ask her to leave. And that is the end of that story, folks. But I think you are on the right track, OP.
Yeah. Does the church, like, because I know nothing about
Mhm.
this, guys. If he can prove cheating, will they, like, give him an annulment instead of a divorce?
In some cases, you can do that.
Because
if
it's
you've
like
got
she
proof-
broke the
Mhm.
vows that she promised kind
Yeah,
of thing.
that is an option. It's not like every...
I just
you
didn't know
know.
if that was, like, a thing that happens sometimes.
I think that you can get an annulment in depending on the church that you belong to.
Maybe not with that priest.
Yeah.
But
Don't know about that priest. Red Bull Rana says the baby is all the evidence you need, my guy.
True.
Yeah, literally being like,
True.
do you have proof of an
Prove this
affair?
child's
You go,
mine.
well, here's when we got married.
Here's
Here's
when I
the
was away for
baby.
work.
Here's the DNA.
And here's mine. Don't match.
Think that's pretty solid proof. But we've got another story, folks, coming right up.
I snitched on my mother's married boyfriend and lost everything.
That's their fault.
My mother started having an affair with a married man, Bruce, over 10 years ago. My dad left her over it, but she stayed with Bruce with the promise of him divorcing his wife soon. Spoiler alert, it never happened.
Oof.
By the way, this comes from Throw Away My Life. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKstorytime subreddit. And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, after 10 plus years of knowing my mother was the other woman, and after stalking Bruce's wife's socials, I couldn't take it anymore. He's a creepy man that no one in my family can stand, including my 3 other siblings. We've been tasked all these years to keep her dirty secret and treat Bruce as if he's not an adulterer.
That is
Insane. I took one for the team and sent some anonymous emails out to some contacts I found through social media. Bruce's wife responded to me and asked to speak, as she had no idea any of this was going on, which I highly suspected, despite Bruce's lies all these years.
terrible.
So I sat down and phoned her. We talked for almost 3 hours. She's a nice woman who was nothing but kind to me. She's been married to Bruce for 30 years
Oh boy.
and had no idea he had a double life. His job allows him to travel frequently. I answered all her questions. During this conversation, though, I knew my relationship with my mother was over.
Which, that's not your fault. Your mother was asking you to keep such a terrible secret of her own wrongdoings for 10 years. That's not a good relationship anyway.
I knew the details would get back to her and would pinpoint to me. Bruce's wife thanked me over and over and shared she would be divorcing Bruce once she got her finances in order. It was a very emotional conversation, and I'll never forget the sound of her cries as I told her all the details.
That's just crazy.
10 years.
10 years of cheating on your partner? Like, you're a psychopath.
Yeah. The next day, I was completely cut off from my mother. I had no way of contacting her, and shortly after that, the intimidation from members of my family came flooding in. Messages of disgust towards me and support towards my mother. Everyone turned on me and will no longer speak to me. I can't imagine she's telling them the truth of what I did. I told on her married boyfriend. I'm shocked my family has chosen her side and abandoned me. Sometimes regret washes over me, but in the end, all I did was speed up the inevitable. And I did it for my siblings, who couldn't stand his presence anymore. I thought it would get rid of him, but it backfired. Not only are Bruce and my mother getting married, but my siblings chose her side and have cut me off. This weighs heavy on my chest. It did for the last 10 years, and now, because of what I did, it will continue. Thanks for reading and letting me get it out. And we have an edit, but...
I mean, OP, when you do something like that, there will be consequences. However, that does not mean that you shouldn't do it.
And I think that there was a positive consequence of his wife.
His wife,
finding
his wife
out.
probably really thanks you for,
Really?
that.
Yeah.
So
So even though you lost a toxic relationship with your mother, you saved that other woman from that.
And you're going to be around a lot better. You're going to find a lot better people who are not going to want to keep secrets like this and force you to keep those secrets and side with adult, cheaters.
Yeah. Thank you to all the supportive comments. I have a few people in my corner rooting for me, but these comments have been comforting and therapeutic. The number of family that turned on me, I truly started to worry I was the problem and made a mistake. To answer some questions, money is a huge factor in all of this, which is why my mother and siblings are so angry and not thanking me. I am my mother's oldest daughter. Only my youngest sibling lives with her. We are all adults. I have 2 young children my mother has thrown to the curb for Bruce. They will never know who she is. I am in contact with the wife. She is a lovely woman who is aware of how this all unfolded and has been so kind to me. I like to think in another life we would be friends. I mean, be friends in this life, dude. I've spent a lot of time putting together proof for her so she can get what she deserves out of the divorce. Keeping in touch with the wife angered Bruce and my mother so much that they told my family I was pestering the wife.
Wow.
That fueled the fire more for my family to hate me.
I mean, if there's any way that you can be like, hey, here's proof. Here's my good relationship with the wife. She's pretty thankful, pretty grateful
chill.
that I sent this to her.
To the few that have commented, I should have minded my own business. I wish this never was my business. What a laugh.
She made it your business when she told you that you had to keep the secret.
For 10 years. With some relevant comments. Commenter 1. Wait, why is she mad? If you didn't tell, the adulterer would still be married and wouldn't be marrying your mom. Shouldn't she be thanking you? Unless he never intended to marry your mom, and even she knows this. LOL. Commenter 2. I'm willing to bet the mom is pissed because Bruce stands to lose a lot of assets and will possibly have to pay alimony. Hard to say for sure since we don't know the details of Bruce's marriage, but money is the only thing I can imagine being the reason he didn't leave his wife earlier and why mom would be so mad. I'm no legal expert, but this is my best guess. And OP said, bingo.
Yeah.
Commenter 3, why isn't your mother happy about what you did? She finally got the man that will cheat on his wife. It's crazy that this woman's like, I can't wait to marry the man that when he was married cheated with me.
Yeah. And then
They
she's
always
like,
do the same.
how could you tell his wife?
Yeah.
And now he's marrying me. I'm so upset at you.
I wonder how shocked she'll be when
Cheats on
with
her?
someone else.
Probably
while
is
they're
cheating with
married.
the third person. Yeah.
OP says she feels I betrayed her, I'm sure, and I've ended her lavish lifestyle with his money. Commenter 4, why not reach out to a relative to see what story your mom is telling them? I think you're right to suspect she is telling a very slanted version of events. OP says, I tried with many of them. They won't tell me. And where's OP's dad in all of this? OP says, not a good relationship with him, and he's annoyed I did this. Thinks I caused drama. Some additional information from OP after reading comments. OP says, my family still won't talk to me. It's been almost 6 months of no contact from my mom. I have tried many times to reach out. As far as I know, Bruce and my mother are still wanting to get married. They're waiting on their divorces. I talk to Bruce's wife monthly, who is still devastated by all of this, and she continues to be nothing but kind to me. She's expressed her desire to meet in person to thank me. She hired a forensic lawyer and found 22 hidden credit cards.
Oh, dang.
Oh my God.
He keeps getting worse.
I don't know about you.
But I'm feeling 22 counts of credit card fraud.
Yikes.
I helped her build a timeline with all evidence I had, so she'll be getting what she deserves from the divorce.
Heck yeah.
It's been hard without my family, but I have to hold on to the fact that I helped this stranger and stayed true to my own morals. I know I did the right thing.
You did. You have solid proof that you did because this woman is coming to you and saying, like, thank you.
Over and over.
Yeah, and finding out more and more information. So you absolutely did the right thing.
And I love that you're helping her with her.
Yeah, it's like, okay, Mom,
like,
you're going to
okay,
leave me
fine.
behind. Bye. I'm going to ruin your new husband financially.
Have fun.
Deal with it, Mom.
Update. 14.5 months later.
Okay.
It has been 18 months since I blew my family life up by tattling on my mother for being the other woman for 12 plus years. Oh, so it was even longer than 10. 18 months of a smear campaign against me that has turned all of my family, except one sister, and close family friends against me. Even my grandparents, who basically raised me. Bruce's wife and I still keep in touch every few months. She has gone through way worse than I have. Her life was a lie, and she struggles daily to comprehend everything that has happened. I feel so much shame that my mother is half responsible for this woman's heartbreak. She still has been nothing but kind to me. The big question that remained unanswered for 18 months, why did my family alienate me? What lie did my mother and Bruce tell that made them not even give me a chance to speak? The truth is that I told on my mom's married boyfriend and blew up their vacation mode relationship, but we all know that couldn't be what she was telling people. Every night I would lay awake wondering what it was that was said about me. And I finally got the answer a year and a half later. My mother told everyone that I was a substance regular user.
I mean, it's just like so crazy when people who do bad things like this have to make up these outrageous lies because they know that no one would defend their actions.
It's still crazy to me that despite your whole family getting that lie, none of them
checked on you. None of them
or checked.
Wow, we should go help you.
That I was effective cognitively from substance use. None of you know me, but I am not a substance regular user. My family believed that lie without question because who would lie on their own child like that? She had to say a lie so far from the truth that no one would question her. So there it is. The damage is done from all ends. Also, don't you have a sister that's still talking to you, though? How is she not going back?
I don't know.
She said that she had one sister on her side still.
Yeah, I don't know how that sister's not like, guys.
My oldest sister's
fine.
chilling. My family thinks I'm a substance regular user, and I'll never forgive my family for believing that and turning on me. I pled with so many of them. I sent them the entire story from start to finish, and no one broke and came to my side. I will never forgive my mother. So much has happened these past 18 months, and it's all her fault. She almost broke me, but thankfully I have an amazing family of my own I created. A husband and 2 daughters and
That's
amazing in-laws. My sister and I have never been closer. We are healing together. The only thing I wish now is for my mother to stop smearing me. My husband deployed for 6 months, and she actively lied on me to people that would come and help me during that time to try to isolate me further. There is no limit to her mental torment. My mother will always be my biggest bully. Going no contact with a narc parent is so hard. Don't let any old hag out there tell you it's their first time living too. It's your parent at the end of the day. I am her child. and she chose an ugly, balding man over me and 2 amazing granddaughters. Will always be her loss. Thanks again for letting me get it off my chest. And by the way, I gotta get this off my chest to let you know that you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. There's a little bit more, some comments, but
I'm sorry. There's just, I think even if my mom goes around and tells the whole family, like, hey, yeah, don't listen to whatever Sophia says. She's got a substance problem. My family would I would hope,
immediately
immediately go to me and be like, are you okay?
Right.
What help can we get you? I know you have kids. Do we need to get them some help?
Right.
But none of that. I wouldn't forgive them either. I'd be like,
Yeah.
wow, you not only believed my mother, you also didn't even check up on me.
Right. How it, like, only one sister coming
Yeah.
out to be like, and what really happened is crazy.
Yeah.
Relevant comments. Commenter 1. Wow, the way you were treated is absolutely horrible. I do not blame you for having resentment against your family members who abandon you like that. Do you still have a relationship with your father and his side of your family? OP says, my father was upset at me at first because it caused a lot of headache for him. He and my mother were only separated, not divorced. He didn't want to give up his pension. And he was also told the BS version. So it honestly took about a year to get him to truly understand the truth. We've never had a great relationship, but we are growing closer now. Commenter 2 says, have a lawyer send her a cease and desist letter. Great idea.
Yeah. Say like, hey, slander,
Yeah.
libel.
Stating
all
if
that
she
jazz.
does not stop lying, there will be a lawsuit. Opie says, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Bruce has got a lot more money than me, and there's an added layer of complication with me living in Canada and Bruce and now my mother living in the US. I think about it all the time, though. And OP on, are the divorces finalized for the mother and Bruce, and have they gotten married? OP says, divorces for both of them have only just finalized, so no, not yet. But only a matter of time, especially with her trying to reside in the US with him when we are from Canada. And OP responding to a downvoted commenter about if Bruce's ex-wife deserved to know what happened.
Yeah.
OP says, you don't think Bruce's wife had a right to know? When this all started, my youngest sibling was 6. We have been dealing with this for 12 plus years, and I couldn't take it anymore. Yes, I thought they would break up. No, I don't regret telling.
Yeah,
That's
no.
the end.
You should
No,
not.
100%
You
should tell.
literally helped her and she thanked you. So clearly you did the right thing.
Yeah.
But that is the end of that story. And we've got another one coming right up. My married friend confessed his attraction to me.
Run away.
I hate that I'm here, but this has been messing with my head. My friend, 26 male, and I, 25 female, have been friends since the 6th grade. We've always been pretty close. He asked me out once or twice in high school, but I said no. Once or twice, mostly because I wasn't allowed to date. By the way, this comes from Clementine1812, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit, and we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers, we only know what we do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, there was never any romantic implication of interest after that. Fast forward to now, we've both been married for about 2 years. Attended each other's weddings, I hang out with his wife regularly. He hangs out with my husband regularly. We go on double dates. It's always been super fun and normal. He and his wife have been open with my husband and me that they are hoping to have kids next year. A few nights ago, my friend and I were both up late texting, which isn't unusual for us since we've been friends for a decade and a half. He generally works the graveyard shift at his job, and I've had insomnia my whole life. We were talking about a show we both like, and I was like, oh, dude, you need to see my new themed after the show sweatpants I just got, and sent him a photo just of the sweats because I was wearing them. He then asked if there was a matching shirt, to which I said, nope. And he asked me to show what top I was wearing anyway.
Why?
Simmer down, buddy.
Why are
Simmer
we doing
down.
that? Married.
It wasn't appropriate, so I declined. No, at that point, that's like a full-on conversation. That's not just like, no.
Yeah, that's
like a,
what are you doing?
What are you doing?
You are married.
I'm going to talk to my husband about this and your wife.
Yeah.
Why did you think that was an acceptable comment to make? Back in 2018, I went through a really rough breakup. This is relevant, bear with me. And was just generally making a lot of crappy decisions, one of which directly impacted him. I don't have any memory of this, although I believe him. but he randomly brought up that I sent him a certain type of photo back then and that he rode that high for a month. He told me this after saying, well, it's not like I haven't already seen it. And that's when we stop the friendship and say, oh, sorry, can't be friends with you anymore because you keep violating boundaries.
That's so icky.
And asked me again to share what top I was wearing. And again, I said no. At that point, he told me that he's essentially been in love with me since middle school and that he's happy in his marriage and knows I'm happy in mine, but that he's always wondered deep down what would have happened if we got together. Dude.
Go tell your wife that.
Dude.
Go tell your wife that right now.
It threw me for a loop. I've never had any indication of this, or maybe I'm just oblivious. And he went on to tell me how much he's fantasized about me and things like that.
Ah! Ah!
I didn't want things to get more awkward than they were, so it was a lot of, dang, that's crazy, dude.
No, it's a lot of, hey, I have your wife's phone number.
Hey, I'm texting your wife. Yeah, it shouldn't just be, dang it, that's crazy.
Yeah.
The next day, he texted me and asked how I was doing. But I told him I felt a little weird and that he had come very close to crossing a line, but didn't cross it.
He crossed
Pete.
it. What do you mean?
He crossed it.
He fully crossed it.
He crossed that line.
Ah.
He danced over that line. What are you talking about, OP? If I was OP's partner and found out that OP's friend had sent this to her and she didn't tell me,
Oh.
ooh, I'd be
Yeah.
like, sorry, what do you mean
No.
that line wasn't crossed?
That
'Cause
line
my
was
line was
crossed.
crossed.
What's the line from Surf's Up?
Stepped on me. Stepped on me. He was practically dancing on me. That's what you were doing on that line.
Nice.
He said he agreed and apologized and said he didn't want anything to change in our marriages or our friendship. Too frickin' bad.
I guarantee you, if Opie said, no, let's do it.
Yeah,
No,
he'd be like,
let's do that urge. You'd be like, okay.
Okay. Do you think that the wife knows that OP had previously sent him a photo in their past?
I don't know. And to just leave it that night and move on. Y'all are both the a-holes now.
To your partners?
Yeah, TBH. I agreed. And then to end the conversation, he told me that if I ever wanted to hear more about his private thoughts about me, to let him know. He's on the other side. This is you. This is you.
He's
this is
dancing
him. This is
on
the
it.
line. He's been over here for the whole story.
He went past you.
Dancing all over
He's over
it,
here.
He went
past
past
you.
you.
He's like, hey, if you ever want to hear about my thoughts, and you're like trying to talk to him over here, but
Well
he's over
beyond
behind
it.
you. He is past this line.
He's behind me, isn't he?
He's right behind me, isn't he?
Obviously, I don't plan to take him up on that, but I don't really know how to move forward with this information.
Tell your husband.
Tell your husband. I still really value the friendship. He's one of my longest lasting friends. I've never been in a situation like this. That's not true. And it's weird. I'd love to get some advice. You have been in a situation like this because
With
he's
him.
done it before.
And also, he fully just threw away this friendship. It wasn't like he is ending it. End it.
You
Get outta here.
literally said that he's done this once or twice, which you know how many times he's done it. It's probably 3 times,
Yeah.
if we're being honest. So you already know that he'd probably do this again, or, that he felt like this.
At this point, I'm thinking you have the same feelings.
Yeah,
And you
man.
want this to go that way.
If you sent him something, allegedly,
Also, not gonna lie, even before we went on, the fact that the way she described the pajama pants photo, I was already immediately like, that's weird.
yeah,
Even my guy friends that I've had for 10 plus years would never get a picture of the pants I was wearing.
yeah. Comment 1. Must be really weird thinking of him alone in his bedroom, thinking of you. Personally, I'd step back from late night texting as it would appear this just seems to encourage him. And as you're both married, I put strict boundaries up so he's clear exactly where you stand. I literally would tell him that he needs to tell his wife. He loves you.
Yeah. Tell your husband, and then together,
Yes.
you guys can all go tell the wife.
Yay.
Yay!
Reply, I really don't understand how some people are so naive that they think that doing this is just innocent and normal. There is one person who I text late at night, and that is my girlfriend. Reply, I text my brother and sister-in-law late, I text my cousin late, and I text several of my friends, both men and women, late. I'm a night owl, so are some of the people in my circle. I also have 4 kids, so focusing on conversations at normal times is next to impossible. There are plenty of reasons to text at night that aren't trying to F someone. I agree with that. I
Yeah.
will say, I don't think the time is the problem.
The
It's
conversations
the
are
content.
different. Yeah.
It's the content.
Those conversations could be more like catching up or planning stuff, not
Yes.
show me what your top looks like.
Yeah. The time has really nothing to do with it. It's the content of the message.
Yeah.
Comment 2, he definitely crossed a line. Reply says, right? I'm just sitting here like, how did he not cross a line? He's openly inviting her to have an affair, and the only reason it hasn't gone there is because OP declined his blatant invitations to spicy text. A mess waiting to happen. If either spouse finds out about this on their own, it's gonna blow up in both of their faces. Reply says, I was curious what the line is in OP's mind. Such an unfair place for her to be put in, and she still didn't want to hurt his feelings. She let him down gently, assured him he didn't cross a line, told him how much she valued him. Gently letting a guy down means in his mind that it's okay to keep going. It will happen again.
Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy, isn't shutting someone down. He is hoping OP is curious, and if she keeps him in her life, he will try and try again until she forces it to stop. Such an unfair position for a friend to put someone in. An edit from OP for clarity because I wrote this in the middle of the night when I was exhausted. I'm frequently up late at night. This wasn't some weird one-off sneaky thing. I work long days, so most of my interactions with people happen at night. When I was 18 in 2018, I was kind of throwing myself at everyone. My friend wasn't special, LOL. There's never been any indication of interest from him since high school until a few nights ago. He has not repeatedly said things like this, and I had honestly forgotten he'd even asked me out in high school until this conversation.
You said he does repeatedly do this. Also, I just realized that OP is my age. She was 18 in 2018. That's my age. I'm like, how are you doing this at this ripe age of mid-20s?
Yeah. I have never seen him as more than a friend despite my crazy phase as an 18-year-old. I don't really care, OP, because he sees you as more than a friend, and you're not putting a stop to it, so it doesn't really matter what you think. Yes, he did ask me out in high school. Most high school crushes don't last a full lifetime. And since he never brought it up again after high school, even when I was vulnerable, I trusted him. This all happened over Snapchat. Yikes!
Of course it did.
Of course it did. Which is the main way I communicate with everyone. I'm calling out all Snapchat users, including my multiple friends who use Snapchat.
I use Snapchat, but not to have
Weird.
conversations.
Weird.
You want to know what I use it for?
What?
To Snapchat the man sitting over there.
Oh.
I like seeing videos of my cat.
I sent him videos of Kai. And like maybe some high school, like my best friend back home sends me videos from her safari job.
Yeah, you guys are weird.
I would never have a conversation.
I don't use that as my main form of communication. I don't call on Snapchat and be like, all right,
right.
I'll call you
I wouldn't
on
have
that.
a conversation there. To be honest, the only reason I haven't gotten rid of it fully is because the memory exports.
I'm just joking.
Yeah.
You can use Snapchat.
No, but I'm with you that it's this is weird.
This is weird.
Using Snapchat as your main form of communication
It's
is
weird.
That's just
Yeah.
a weird flag. That's
And
not
the
a red
fact
flag.
that
That's
this
just a weird flag.
happened over Snapchat makes it like so much sketchier.
So much worse. So much worse. Yeah, I do agree with that. So unfortunately, none of the conversation is there anymore. So suspicious. Which I do feel bad about being the case. I should have been clearer with that in my original post. Apologies. Yikes. The photo of my sweatpants was close enough you could only see the fabric pattern. If that's something that would turn you on, perhaps my situation isn't where your main focus should be. My friend and I have not spoken since that second conversation, and the more time that passes, the ickier I feel about it and don't desire for the situation to happen again, and plan to enforce stricter boundaries with my friends when I feel comfortable enough to initiate contact with him. Yes, I should have shut it down rather than let him keep talking, but I also avoid awkward situations like the plague and was reeling from realizing one of my longest friendships wasn't what I thought it was. As for telling my husband, while I normally would agree, and we do have excellent communication, I genuinely don't think I'd want to know if he was in this situation if he also wasn't reciprocating. I'm worried it will just cause unnecessary anxiety and drama. I have no plans of leaving my husband. Bad.
He might want to know. And also, that's good communication would be telling him. You should most definitely tell him.
I'm sorry, causing unnecessary drama. His friend and your friend, mutual friends, just confessed love to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something he needs to know.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
OP, you're an a-hole too. You guys are both the a-hole. This
Yeah.
is everyone sucks here.
I should say, like, we're not giving that much crap to the other guy, but that's because,
It's
like,
so
we know
clear.
that he's
be
so
clear.
clearly in the wrong.
Yeah.
We're also just now saying, like, dude, tell your husband.
Yeah, come on. Duchess Kasana says, okay, so the photo's less weird now. I do agree with that. Update. I talked to my husband about it. Yay! I really
Yay.
hope all of the comments were like, dude, what are you talking about? Talk to your husband. Talk to your husband. He told me it was weird, but seemed like a complimentary thing from the guy, and to shut things down fast if it ever happens again. My hesitation with telling my husband was exactly this. He didn't really want to hear about it. I don't like you. But you know what you should want to hear? More
What?
full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
I mean, sure. If he doesn't want to hear, you said you wouldn't want to hear. Maybe that's your guys' relationship, and that's how it works. Maybe you did know better on that front. But ultimately, had this happened again, I think it's good that this isn't his first time hearing about it, and he can already have the information that he needs to help you however you need. And it's not like, oh, and by the way, like, also 2 months ago this happened.
He's been in love with me.
Right.
And I didn't really tell him to stop saying that.
Right. I feel like maybe you spun the story to your husband a little bit, but
Probably.
at least he knows.
I don't like this.
Does the other guy's wife know yet?
Yeah. Is she okay
More
with that?
importantly?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, y'all are friends with all of them.
Right.
OP said that she was friends with the wife.
Yeah.
I'd be devastated to learn that my friend knew that my partner confessed love to her.
Right.
And then she didn't tell me.
Yeah.
I'd be devastated. So
Yeah.
OP,
It's
you're
a hard
still- you're
conversation,
still
but it
kinda
needs to
sucky.
happen.
He asked if I felt the same way, which I do not. Then asked if I was planning to hook up with my friend. I said no. And he said, cool, well, I won. You didn't have to tell me about all that, but I'm sorry he put you in that position. Before you salty people have another heyday, yes, I was honest with him and told him everything.
Okay.
We've also discussed boundaries that both of us will be enforcing moving forward. The guy told me he talked to his wife about it. Good.
Okay.
She reached out to me asking me out for coffee to discuss further, which we will be doing tomorrow. I don't think I'll be posting any more updates, but thank you to everyone who provided helpful advice. Sorry to everyone who has enjoyed tearing a stranger to shreds, and I hope your day improves significantly.
Thanks.
That's the end of that story.
That's wild behavior.
Crazy.
I need to see if there's an update.
I'm like kind of shocked how
Please, or
laissez-faire
something in the
everyone
comments.
in this freaking story has been about everything. Are y'all still friends? Great that OP told her husband eventually. Well, are we still gonna be friends with the guy who said that he's in love with you?
We're just
and,
like okay with this.
and he's just gonna wait around until you change your mind? I don't understand, y'all.
And are we still talking over Snapchat?
Yes. And are we still talking over Snapchat?
Maybe we should be switching to texting if clearly the photos can't be controlled.
Yeah.
I didn't want to jump to anything.
Okay.
There's no updates.
Oh, do you
Oh.
think it's like a swapperoo? A wife
They-
swap?
The white, yeah,
Mm.
like,
Oh, you think the other wife is fine with it and wants
like,
the
yeah,
husband?
exactly. Like,
Wife
no,
swap.
I'm into this. Like, we're all into this, except for you.
Yeah.
She just didn't know.
Oy, man.
Maybe she is into it. She didn't really seem that concerned.
No one seemed concerned about anything, and I don't understand them, but I guess good for you guys. But we're going to get into this next story.
My summer fling is married and with a family.
Uh-oh, fling him away from you.
And this comes directly from the OK Storytime subreddit. I am traveling in Italy for the summer, working at a hostel in exchange for free accommodation and food. I will be here for a couple of months and have made some amazing friends and connections. By the way, this comes from OK Membership 7070. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, anyone who has been to Italy knows that if you are a beautiful woman, you will get looked at by so many men, including married men holding hands with their partners. I haven't been there.
Italy, it's like, just really for most women, it's just, they just shout at you as you're walking by, and they're like, beautiful. Like one.
Ciao, Bella. Is it
Yeah,
Ciao,
yeah.
Bella?
And like, where are you from? Well, like me and my friend, when we were there, like we're walking, he's like, where are you from? And we didn't respond, where are you from? And we're like, oh, Jesus. And then when I was in a club in Italy, somebody like grabbed my arm and I was like, no. And he was like trying to talk to me and I was like, no. And they got to push it. Yeah. So
They are forward in
they're pretty
Italy.
forward in Italy.
Ciao, Bella.
I am from the United States, so I am absolutely clueless about the culture here. And this is my main reason for posting, because I need advice from people who understand this culture. Maybe you guys can offer something.
I don't know if I understand the culture, but I'll give my
I'm
advice.
Italian,
Oh,
I
you're
got
Italian.
that much going. I met a man who owned a restaurant near my hostel, and I have been eating there 3 or more times a week because the food was incredible and the price was amazing. The owner started giving me free food because I was returning so often. And it blossomed into a really nice friendship between me and his staff. He would invite me to private dinners
What?
with his staff in the back, and I bonded with all of them to the point where I have all their contacts on WhatsApp, a much more reasonable app than
Yeah.
Snapchat.
I mean, everyone uses that when you're abroad.
I can't lie when I say I really liked the owner beyond friends.
Ooh.
And he looked young enough that I didn't think he would have a wife and kids. Maybe a girlfriend, but this guy looked like he was in his mid to late 20s. I'm 22. Although I never asked, he was always flirting with me in front of everyone, so I assumed he was single. Bad assumption, I know. I'm a dumb American, lol. He asked me out on a date a month ago, and I said yes immediately after knowing him for a week. Very soon for me, but some of the girlfriends I have met in the hospital told me this is slow for an Italian man. I'm not sure, but I decided to take things very slow. The dates we went on were magical, and I am not delusional. I saw him as a summer fling, but that didn't stop feelings from creeping in. We went to spas, the beach, small beautiful towns outside of Florence, and many lovely excursions. But we never went anywhere private until yesterday. First of all, I didn't want to go anywhere private. And I know Italian men can be quick to want intimacy, but he was the opposite. We had been intimate a few times in locations I don't want to talk about, but intimacy is incredibly personal to me because I had only had it 4 times before him. Second, I'm staying in a 6-bed hostel room.
Yeah.
So I was not inviting anyone over, and
That-
I never wanted to go over to his place for my own safety.
I just want to say real quick.
Yeah, I was gonna
People
say.
in hostels are crazy. I never had experience.
Sometimes I've made some great friends through hostels.
Oh, no. To be clear, I had across the board excellent experiences in hostels. I'm not saying that everyone in a hostel is crazy.
But I've heard a lot of hostel stories.
But and this never happened to me personally. I have like long-term friends still from hostels. But my friend, this long-term friend, told me that in one of the hostels that she was staying in, someone was having a ménage à trois
In the hostel?
room.
That's crazy. I was gonna
with
say
other people.
I
Isn't
was
that
gonna
insane?
I was gonna say not the menage a trois, but
Yeah.
there were people in our hostel who were doing it in the room. It was the last night for
Crazy.
us for our group, but we
Yeah.
were like, "Did everyone hear that last night? Did everyone
Yeah.
sleep okay?" And everyone's like, "No, we all woke up to it." I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah,
Yeah, no, people think they're sneaky. There's a curtain separating you.
I think they're definitely into it."
Yeah.
that was a big red flag, I now realize. But at the time, I didn't ask many questions about his personal life. His English is not great, so it's hard to engage in deep conversations. On to what happened yesterday. He asked me to come over to his apartment after work. I agreed, and we went there. When we arrived, it was a gorgeous place with lots of beautiful greenery and flowers. I immediately asked him why he never invited me over, since I make it very obvious to everyone I meet that I love gardens and nature. He brushed that comment off by saying he wanted to take me out to explore. When we got inside, it was everything I expected for a young restaurant owner. Beautifully decorated, not rich by any means, but definitely not cheap either. He took me upstairs, and I immediately saw children's toys and froze.
No.
I asked him whose toys they were, and he did not hesitate to tell me he has children, which
It's
he
not
can have
necessary. I
children
could just
and
have
be
kids.
divorced. Yeah.
So true.
Or just yeah.
Let's find out.
I was shocked. Once again, I don't know anything about Italian culture, but it came as a surprise because neither he nor anyone from the restaurant had ever mentioned his kids to me. I asked him if he has a wife, and once again, he did not lie to me. I was in tears immediately and told him to take me home.
Yikes. He really was just like, she was like, do you have kids? He was like, see? She was like, do you have a wife? He's like, see? Is that not obvious?
That's crazy, and I'm not from Italy, but I feel like that is still bad.
It is still bad.
I
It
don't
is
think that's
still
part of
bad.
the Italian culture.
I don't think that's
Yeah.
an Italian culture thing. I think
Yeah,
that's still
man.
cheating.
Yep.
He said, and I quote, "Why go home? She is gone for 10 months, so it doesn't matter." As I kept crying, I told him how wrong it was to do everything he did, spending money on me that should be going to his wife and kids, and doing things his wife would most likely dislike. He showed me to his bedroom for tissues, and that's when I saw her. A wedding picture on the wall with a...
Thought she was there.
Yeah. Gorgeous Iranian woman who looked like she could be a model. I'm a beautiful blonde young woman with tattoos, but this woman was seriously breathtakingly beautiful and is way prettier than me. I continued to ask him many questions about his wife, kids, and why he never told me. We both started using translators at this point because the language barrier made it hard for him to understand me. Here is everything I asked. Why wouldn't your wife be upset about you having another woman?
She's the mother of children and nothing more.
Why would you cheat on your beautiful wife when I am half as beautiful?
She is uglier than you now. This photo is from 5 years ago.
That doesn't make it okay to cheat, but how would she feel about this?
She and I never see each other. We have kids together.
Then shouldn't you be spending your money on your kids and not me?
Don't worry about my children. That's my job.
How did you expect me to be okay with this?
If you want to go, we can go.
At this point, I was in full-blown tears.
Me too.
And he took me back to the hostel.
I don't know how to do an Italian accent.
And by the way, you can hear all types of Sophia's accents.
I can do other ones better.
Full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. She's done Scottish most recently.
Wow. Yeah, this guy is so not apologetic. He's like, I don't know. She's just my wife.
Why am I hearing the dad from Transylvania?
It was very
She is. You can. I can't do that either. Anyway.
Yeah, I think he just sucks.
Yeah,
I don't
he just
think
sucks.
this is an Italian thing.
I mean, you've only known him for a little bit. It's really sucky situation that he puts you in. If you can find a way to tell his wife.
This is not your fault. I think
No, not at
no.
all.
This
I
was
think he just cut him off.
This was a learning,
Yeah.
situation. Now, when you meet a guy, double check. I'm like, hey, do you have kids? Do you have family?
Yeah, I've told the story on the pod, but to a much lesser extent. I was in London with Sam a couple of years ago, and we met these Belgian boys, and one of them was like flirting with me all night, and we exchanged Instagrams, and he's like, do you want to like hang out? Because I was only there for a week. He's like, do you want to hang out on these other day? And I look at his Instagram, and like first thing, him and a girl. And I'm like looking through it. I'm like, I think he has a girlfriend. And I tell Sam, I'm like, I think he has a girlfriend. And he was like, well, you don't know that. Like, don't assume, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I think he has a girlfriend. So I just kind of like respond nicely, but I'm like, oh, I can't hang out. Sorry. And then months later, I get a request from a random girl. And I'm like looking at it, and like I see the little blurb of the message, and I accept. And it's basically her being like, what happened with you and this boy? Or like my boyfriend did anything, like did he do anything, did you guys hook up, blah blah blah.
Wow.
And I'm like, nothing happened,
But he did try.
I just said like I only met him once, and nothing happened.
I also like that he was like, she's old and uglier
Yeah.
now. And at the beginning, we found out they were like mid to late 20s.
Yeah, I'm like, there's no way that this girl is not like still gorgeous.
Yeah. We didn't speak a word on the ride home, but he said,
sorry you feel so bad.
as I got out of his car, I have no idea what to do. I'm incredibly distraught, not for myself, but for the children and wife, who are most likely clueless to this whole situation. I witnessed my mother's affair as a very young child and was forced to keep it a secret until my mom left my dad for her affair partner.
Yikes.
This is really eating at me. I was 5 when that all happened, and I assume his kids are that age or younger. So I feel completely distraught about this entire situation. Advice is needed because I am so uneducated on Italian culture in this aspect and have no idea what to do. That's the end of that story.
Again, if you can figure out a way to tell his wife, but otherwise just block, move on, don't see this guy again.
Hopefully the comments were already telling you that that's not
It's
the
not your
culture.
fault.
I think you were
Or your
also
fault.
you were like so enamored into the culture and
Yeah.
like the city itself. So you're like,
I mean, this
This
can
is-
happen
yeah, yeah.
anywhere.
this can happen
Yeah.
anywhere.
It's
It
not
doesn't have
like
to be
an
in Italy.
Italian
It doesn't,
thing.
yeah, exactly.
But we've got some comments from another video. My sister wants to steal my mom's house, and this was posted September 18th, 2025. And the TLDR says, OP's sister has always been clear she doesn't like babies and won't babysit. But his wife kept pushing her boundaries anyway. When their babysitter canceled last minute for a fancy dinner reservation, OP's wife demanded the sister watch the 5-month-old and freaked out when she said no. Things exploded when OP left at 11 p.m. to take his sister to the hospital for an emergency, and his wife woke up furious that he helped someone who won't help them. Now she's threatening to leave him unless he completely cuts off his sister. And OP is stuck between his wife's ultimatum and his family loyalty. And if you're curious to know the full story, you can go watch the full video. And we have some comments from that story. And I do remember that one as well.
Comment number 1, I think it's by Jody or Yodel. Just because you have a baby doesn't mean others have to babysit. Others don't have to do anything for you if they don't want to. And the sister may be very uncomfortable being responsible for a baby and doesn't know what to do if it's crying. And it could be dangerous to leave a baby with a person that doesn't want to take care of it. This whole thing is crazy to me. The baby's mom may be having postpartum depression, which may be why she is having a hard time understanding the sister's point of view. And why she is so upset about it. She should seek treatment. Agreed.
Yeah. I mean, you can't force anyone who is not the parent to babysit your child.
Yeah.
It's not their responsibility. If you can't find a person to watch your kid so you can go on your fancy dinner date, then you can't go on your fancy dinner date.
Yeah, I think
that's
Or
kind of
your
how it
kids
works.
are coming with them.
Come on. I think we need to plan a little bit better there.
Yeah. I mean, in this case, I think it was just like person canceled
Yeah.
last minute, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. But like,
But I think you always need a plan
Still.
B at least,
Yeah.
or a plan
Yeah.
C.
You at least can't assume that your plan B is the one that said no already.
yeah, the one who said, I never want to babysit your kids.
Always have a couple other plans after A. We have a second comment here by the Sharona 10. They say, it boggles my mind when parents insist of leaving their kids with someone who does not want to be around them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like the
I
best
don't
for
know
the
why.
kids.
Yeah. The kids are going to have fun.
No.
It's going to be pretty obvious.
And another comment here is by Chris Through Glass. I'm not a kid/baby person. I would never watch a baby if it wasn't or isn't an emergency. I didn't know how to change a diaper, how to feed a baby, how to hold it, how it is supposed to lie, how warm it has to be, how much crying is normal, etc. That's their comment. Yeah, that's
There's
fair.
a lot that goes into watching
There's
a baby.
so much that goes into watching a baby. And if you just don't know how to do that and never wanted to learn,
Yeah.
tricky.
And a last comment here by Taylor Kichu 4683. As somebody who's child-free, this stuff gets so tiring. So many people are convinced you just never want to be around children or their children could change your mind. I personally do not hate kids. I just don't want them around all the time. I love my nieces and nephews, including my friends' kiddos. I just have never felt the want for them, and I am even happier with that decision as I get older. I also am not comfortable holding newborns. I don't hold them until they're 3 months old because they are less fragile by then. Lol.
Yeah, everyone's got different desires and, plans for their life. And you
Yeah.
can't force your plan on someone else.
Exactly.
But those are the ends of the comments. And that is the end of the episode. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow.